April is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Following this year's campaign theme, It's Time to Talk About It, CTV is helping to promote awareness and highlight prevention efforts through a three-part series of special reports. The first takes us inside of a special unit at Prince George's Hospital that is helping victims and their loved ones begin the healing process. Rochelle Metzger reports.
I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Sexual assault is a violent and traumatic crime. Locally, when cases are reported, victims are treated and then referred to the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Unit here at Prince George's Hospital Center. Inside the hospital, behind a plain, locked door, is a secure, safe place for victims of sexual violence.
Folks who come in here for forensic exams have generally been sexually assaulted within 5 days. So it's very fresh, it's very upsetting for them, and they've been through a process already.
Cheryl Banks is the center's community educator. She says children as young as 6 weeks and adults as old as 90, both males and females, have come through the doors for services which are free.
Prince George's County still has the highest number of reported rapes in the state. I do think that's not that it's the most violent place, but that we do have folks here being willing to report it.
Prince George's also has the highest number of child sex abuse cases in Maryland, behind only Baltimore City, according to State's Attorney Angela Also-Brooks.
We handle between 2,500, 3,000 cases per year that we have reported domestic violence. Those are not all trials or cases that are filed as criminal cases, but we have about that many petitions that are filed for protection.
Most rapes and many child molestation cases are never reported to police. Of those that are, most don't make it to trial. Prosecutor Doneen Carrington says the collection of evidence can mean the difference between whether or not a case can be prosecuted.
We need the victims to go through, to come here to the Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Center so that the forensic nurses here at the hospital can take that forensic evidence off of them, and then we can submit it to the Prince George's County Police Department's DNA lab. We can have it analyzed and we can secure a conviction.
Not all hospitals are equipped to do rape kit exams. DVSAC staff perform about 250 exams and conduct about 70 crisis interventions each year. In total, the center provides about 700 clients with a variety of services annually. It employs 4 full-time therapists and 1 full-time victim advocate. A rotating group of 10 forensic nurses are called in to perform exams.
What happens is that the nurse will interview the client, and that interview is a slow process. It's methodical because the nurse is now collecting information that could be used in a court case later on. And then the forensic exam is done.
Like the nurses, the center has over 40 trained volunteers who are on call 24/7. Victim advocates help guide clients through both the medical and legal process.
If they have questions about how the process is going, or if they have questions about the situation in the community, our victim advocate helps them with that. If they end up going to court, we have volunteer victim advocates who will go with them, keep them company through that court process, because that's also a really challenging time. And sometimes we have more than one at the courthouse just trying to be of support to the family.
Banks says patients find comfort in the stuffed animal wall. Everyone gets to choose a new donated toy to take home, a small token of warmth and normalcy that she calls the power of the teddy bear. Chanel White is a licensed therapist. It's her job to help patients cope with the ordeal and its aftermath.
What people don't realize is that an assault or abuse is considered a trauma, just like going to war is, and just like a natural disaster. So the effects are similar. So our clients may be experiencing flashbacks and things like that, so we're helping to cope with that. So they're coming in with those symptoms, or they've noticed how it's affected their life over the long term, and we address that as well.
White says clients come to her in emotional distress. In order to help them deal with the effects of trauma, establishing trust is key.
A person has been violated by someone most of the time that was close with them or knew them in some way. And so trust is big.
White says because of a lack of education about trauma, friends and family don't know how to support their loved ones. So often victims don't receive the help they need.
I definitely see firsthand how it can change someone's life, and I see the growth in people and the healing, and that's incredible, and it definitely makes it worth it.
During sessions, patients share the most intimate details of their most traumatic life experiences. Weich says hearing these stories never gets easier. When the job starts to take a mental toll, counselors lean on each other for support.
Try to, not take my work home, and that's sometimes difficult to do that. But if I have a problem, I don't mind going and seeking out therapists for myself as a means of processing some of the things that I'm hearing on a daily basis. And so it's also setting an example, of saying that therapy doesn't mean that you're crazy. You can come and deal with issues that you need to deal with and be okay with that and be comfortable with it.
Therapy at the center typically lasts 6 months, although Weich admits treatment can last much longer. Counseling is also available for family and significant others.
When I'm out, oftentimes I see folks who've received counseling or other services at the center, and they tell me how well they're doing. It's very, very reassuring.
Now, Banks and the center staff also engage in public outreach efforts. They host community walks and rallies and speak to students and community groups, all with the goal of prevention, education, and raising public awareness. In Cheverly, I'm Rochelle Metzger, CTV News.
And in part 2 of our special series, we focus on community outreach efforts. Tune in tomorrow as we follow Banks to a local college campus for a lesson in sexual assault prevention.